Welcome to Crafting the Case, where three women dive deep into chilling true crime cases, eerie mysteries, and spooky tales, all while crafting and creating. Join us as we weave together suspense, storytelling, and a touch of creativity in every episode. Find us on your favorite social media platforms and wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome. It's episode 13.
Oh, lucky number 13.
Ashes. No, that's not your favorite number, is
Yeah.
it? 13. 13 marvelous episodes that you spent with us. Well, 12 technically. Welcome. And not only is it lucky number 13, but it's lucky for you, lucky for us that we have another special guest to the podcast and our channel. Devin. I don't know if we're using last names around here.
No.
I don't know. Like, people can probably find us, but...
Yeah. Find our real jobs.
Find our real jobs, email our employers.
The house, apparently.
The house,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, if you put our house number, it comes up. Anyway, Devin, by day, is a legal lawyer, but today he is going to be a crafty crimer.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a little bit freaked out when he thought he might have to do the craft, so...
I don't know what either of those things are. But...
A crafty crimer? Okay, this is one thing I knew. I am beefing with you a bit because you have been on the show numerous times. Whether it's just like your presence in the background, sneaking food,
Or advice,
legal advice. How many times have you listened or watched?
Never.
The entire episode?
The entire episode, not just you're like fast forwarding to when you're on it.
I've 0 times.
Okay. So tomorrow will be the first time that Devin watches a full
episode on
episode.
it.
Probably not, but maybe.
How are you feeling about being on the podcast, Devin? It's quite an esteemed honor.
It is an honor. An honor and a pleasure. I guess.
Is it kind of going to be a crossover episode, Devin?
Crossover to what?
So I was going to bring this up, but as I stated earlier, Devin is a legal lawyer by day, but by evening he has many other interests, and he hosts and has a YouTube kind of media branding for sports as well. So Recliner Sports on all social media platforms. Check him out. So I was wondering if it was going to be a crossover, like Devin's doing the story today, by the way. Is your story in that world?
It's a hockey story.
Oh! And in the same vein, a crossover means you come on our stuff and then we get to go on yours.
Maybe.
And we could maybe commentate a hockey game. Is that how you say it? Commentate?
That would be great. I've probably never watched a full hockey game in my life, so
What?
I would be
Neither
really
has
good at
Sandy.
that.
Yes, I have. This would be perfect,
Yeah.
Devin.
Sandy and I went to Montreal. We went to 2 games at the Bell Center. We paid about $200 each for tickets, so about $800 between the 2 games. And she never saw one goal go in the net. She had her face on
Devin
her phone.
says this. He tells this
looking
story
at
all the time.
Snapchat the whole time.
I only ever go for like the food, like popcorn and hot dogs.
You would have loved this trip because
Yeah.
we stayed in the Desjardins section. If anybody out there has ever been
all you can eat.
It's
hot
all you can
dogs,
eat.
Smoked meat.
You buy the tickets and you get whatever you want.
I'm now a hockey
Sandy
fan.
Sandy had a couscous salad.
They had one couscous salad. I think it was in somebody's lunch that they packed. So anyway, it is kind of a crossover episode. We have a sports-related story today, which I'm super excited about. I'm kind of doing the craft. I will pause and just say, like, our book vases are over here and they're coming along superbly. But sadly, Tara's not here today, so we're
And I have to
shifting.
repaint Freya. 'Cause she
Freya,
didn't take it serious.
she took, yeah.
I saw the vision.
Why does it say holes on it? Is
Do
that?
you remember the book Holes?
Did you ever read the book Holes? Or the
I thought it
movie?
was your favorite detective was
Oh!
Johnny Holes.
Paul
Oh,
Holes.
yeah.
Do you think Freya
I
knows
thought it was
about
called Holmes.
No, Holes.
Holes.
Does
Okay.
does
No,
Freya
she
know?
loves the book Holes too because
Yeah.
I bought it for her. I was like, you need to read.
Did you read it in grade 7?
Yeah, and then like every couple of years after that, it's just so good.
It's
and the
so
movie's
good.
really good
Is it
too.
a book about is it like a kid's book, like the Everybody Farts
Like-
book? Everyone
No,
Holes?
Deb-
Devin,
adults.
you would
Kids,
love
but,
it.
Like it's a chapter book.
I thought it was like Everybody Has Holes, just like Everybody Farts.
No. That's what you should bestseller.
We gotta put an explicit next to this one, Devin?
The best seller.
You would actually really like it because Shia LaBeouf's in it, one of your favorite actors.
And he's the main guy.
He plays Stanley
Shia
Thomas.
LaBeouf has never been the same since Even Stevens.
Devin loves
and
it.
this was the same era
The
because this is
greatest
when he
TV
was like
show
at the
ever.
height of his
Oh, really?
like,
When he was
career.
a kid?
He was
Yes.
very young.
Okay. I like him still. I shouldn't say that.
You should watch the movie.
Yes.
But Even Stevens is one of the
I love
greatest
that
TV
show,
shows
too.
ever.
You guys are right.
Beans, the neighbor Beansy was the
I
best
love
guy.
that.
I
ever.
think
Love
he's now a woman, Beans. I think he's a trans person.
He might be.
Anyway,
She might
they might be.
They might be.
We are doing some coloring today, as promised. I, a couple months ago, got really deep into coloring TikTok. Not just any coloring, though, folks. It's alcohol marker coloring. So it's very special. No,
Oh my gosh,
they have no smell.
You marked them out.
So,
Drink them
Swatch
or-
them.
you have to swatch them, y'all. Okay, it was a whole thing. I got really deep. You swatch them. Now the people on TikTok are like, they have these ones like Ohuha markers, and they're really fancy. These are a Temu find. So some of them, I will warn you, Ashley, like some of them, like these ones, bleed, and there's 2 tips, so just be careful. I don't know if you also know about alcohol markers, but you can do a lot of blending, and I'll show you some of my favorite ones that I've done so far.
So sometimes I get these books, people color them and it pops up on my Facebook
Yes.
feed.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even look like they colored it. It's
know.
insane. Like they do like lighting when they're coming in through the window and stuff. It's really amazing.
The whole vibe is like cozy. So there's like a lot of cozy and comfy.
Yeah.
This one's girl moments, cute and comfy coloring. This is really vibing with Devin. But like, I'll show you some. Maybe we'll put some pictures up.
Yeah,
like
that's
you
a
can
great
see.
idea.
I'll like blended the green.
Okay.
So the trick is. If you're gonna do blending, you have to put the 2 colors together while it's still kind of wet-ish and work it out. So yeah, there's like patterns and stuff. So I have 3 coloring books for us to choose from, swatches, and you also have to put some cardstock behind your page if
Or
you're getting
run
into,
through.
or it will run through. Yes.
Oh my gosh, you were busy. Okay, I
know.
love this one. She did it.
I did this one.
Frog.
Yeah.
I
So
love
that one's
frogs.
good. I don't think I've done a lot in this one, so maybe I'll pick
Is
one
this
of
whole
these.
book
today.
done? Oh no, there's
No. Gosh, no. And these ones have bold things. So Devin, how interested in this are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
-12.
Okay, good. So that means you can really focus on your story.
I'll do the story, and you guys can color.
Yes.
I feel like
Especially if
if
you can't sniff the markers, then I'm definitely not.
You're not
into it.
interested.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do
This one looks a
this.
little
I was
hard.
I was kind of into it when you said alcohol markers for a minute, but then
Another interest of Devin's is our tiki bar in the basement, and if you'd like to check us out on social media, it's tiki.
there you go.
It's the Hallie Tiki Room, so check it out. You can do a little blast for the tiki bar as well. And yeah, so
I also found just there was a cool, those TikToks that come up that say these are powerful websites that you should know.
yes,
There was one that was an AI website that does like you can make your own coloring.
I saw that.
Books or coloring pages. Yeah.
yeah.
Out of your pictures?
Yes.
Well, you
Like,
can. I think you can
design
just
it?
direct it, right? You can say, I want to do a coloring book picture of He-Man or Spider-Man or
Yeah,
whatever.
I saw one where it was like you could put your own photos up and AI turns it into
that would be cool too.
Yeah.
into photos.
I know that because when our friend's daughter comes over, all she ever wants to do is color, and I spend like an hour on my computer trying to find pictures of coloring book pictures of unicorns.
And do you think I'd let this little girl use these? No.
No chance.
No chance.
0 chance.
Okay, so Ash, I don't know if you want to pick your coloring book. I'm okay with
trying.
whatever. There's lots of fun ones. So Devin, I don't think there's anything else we need to cover. Thanks to everybody who listened last week. We gained 14 new listeners in Hong Kong. That was amazing.
Cool.
We now have the same amount of listeners in Hong Kong as we do in the United States. So thank you to all our Hong Kong listeners out there.
So, Big in China or Big in Japan, isn't that a song?
That is a
Big in
song,
Japan?
I think, yes.
The song in Japan, I know my geography, but
Devin's really weirdly good at geography, but it is a song. And music.
if
Alright.
you're big in Japan, you'd also be big in Hong Kong, I would think.
Yes, yeah. I think it's because part of the story Ashley did last week was on
Yeah, we were wondering because it was South Korea.
South
and we were
Korea. Like, same kind of area of the world, right?
Well, my story's about Russia.
We normally have one bot or listener in Russia. Yes. we don't
Who's
know.
on really well.
Yes.
I can't
one.
bet.
Okay, I'm gonna do
Well,
a Girl Moments Cute and Comfy Coloring Book by Coco Wayo. I think I'll do that one. Unless you want to do one from this one.
No, I'm just being nosy. But
Okay.
Seeing what you're doing.
Go ahead, Devin. Take it away. We're so excited.
So I just get right into it?
Set the scene for us, Sugar.
All right, well, thanks for having me, guys. This is
Thanks.
going to be my first time really doing something like this, so it'll be interesting. But like Sandy said, I do a hockey YouTube kind of thing called Recliner Sports. So I did want to sort of do a bit of a crossover. So this is I think the hints that I've given so far is a hockey story. And
Hockey Night in Russia.
it's a Russia story.
Okay, and the other one
Is
you
Hockey
said.
Night in Russia
Well,
a
no.
show?
No.
Okay, I don't want to throw.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Sounds familiar though. Right?
Before, there was recently a trade of a Russian player to the Canadians, right? Is this a thing?
Not a trade.
Oh, sorry, like an acquisition.
Kind of, yeah.
So anyway, Devin was watching a lot of Russian hockey.
I did watch a lot of Russian hockey this year because she's talking about Ivan Demidov. If anybody here watches hockey, was drafted by the Canadians not this June but the June before, and obviously he's now playing with the Montreal Canadiens. So
And
that's what she's talking about.
yeah, and every time I hear Demidov, I think of a demidog.
Demigod.
Demogorgon.
Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
Yeah, demigod something too from
Like-
from Moana. Demigod.
You're on your own there. We
We
don't got
don't
no
watch-
kids.
Have you guys not had to watch Moana 27
I
times?
watched it a few times, but yeah, we don't
Yeah.
have kids.
We
so
don't have
we don't.
kids, so we still have
The soundtrack is really good.
There you
Yeah.
go. All right,
All right, I'm going to start.
please do.
Okay.
Title of the story today is called The Final Flight.
Ooh.
September 7th, 2011. Just after 4 p.m. local time, a Yakolev Yak-42D aircraft pushed its engines to full throttle at the Tunoshna airport in Yaroslavl, Russia. On board, players, coaches, and staff from Lokomotiv Yaroslavl, one of the Continental Hockey League's most respected and competitive teams. The Continental Hockey League, some people would know that as the KHL. The season opener in Minsk was hours away. Hopes were high and spirits were even higher. The team, full of promise and personality, was embarking on what many believed would be a championship season for the Lokomotiv team. Veterans like Pavel Dimitra and Ruslan Saleh brought international experience and calm leadership. Young Russian stars were coming into their own. Head coach Brad McCrimmon, fresh off a career in the NHL, had brought a renewed sense of structure and belief to the team. This wasn't just another road trip, it was the start of something special. As the plane rolled away from the runway, there was laughter in the cabin. Teammates teased each other, they played cards, and they listened to music. The mood was light. One player texted his wife, promising to call after landing. Another shared a final photo to social media, a blurry shot of teammates in their seats, flashing smiles and peace signs. Then the engines roared. The aircraft began its takeoff run. Observers near the runway noted something strange. The plane appeared sluggish, slow to accelerate. It drifted slightly off the center line. The nose lifted, but then it dipped. The engines wailed as if fighting against gravity itself. Inside the cockpit, voices were raised, instruments were misread, and warnings blared loudly. Seconds later, it happened. The Yak-42 failed to achieve liftoff speed. It veered beyond the runway's end, its wing clipping a signal antenna. The impact caused the aircraft to twist violently, and the fuselage struck the banks of the Tunoshanka River, and a massive fireball erupted.
Okay, pause. Is it okay if I pause you?
Not yet.
Okay.
Smoke billowed into the sky. From the control tower, stunned airport staff radioed for emergency assistance. Nearby, drivers pulled over on the road and stared in horror. What had been a routine departure had become a cataclysm. First responders arrived within minutes, but what they found was devastation. The plane was fractured into several sections. Flames licked at the wreckage. Debris floated on the river. Bodies lay amid the burning grass and twisted metal. Of the 45 people on board, only one would survive.
What?
This is not just a story about a crash. It is a story of a broken system, of lives lost too soon, of a community plunged into mourning. It is a story of how one of the greatest tragedies in sport history unfolded not in the air, but in the corridors of negligence, shortcuts, and avoidable decisions.
Ooh.
This is the story of Lokomotiv Yaroslavl.
Okay, so one of my questions, did you say 2011?
2011, correct. September
Okay.
7th.
It's very topical, Devs, because there's been so many recent plane things happening in the world.
Well, I know, it's a true crime podcast, but I know that all of the true crime people that I know also love a good disappearing plane or
Oh my God, I forgot about the Malaysian plane. Do you remember that?
the MK-45 or whatever it was.
Do you remember when that plane just went up and missing?
And did they ever? Was there ever?
No, they never found anything.
Well,
of
I
it.
think they know what happened to it now.
Somebody does. That brings me up to another thing Tara and I want to talk about at some point is a conspiracy night we want to host. Everybody bring their favorite conspiracy. So this was 2011, you said. Again, very topical because of the ongoing plane issues. Another thing is I feel like the vibe of last week's episode with the crowd crushing fits really well with this too, because it's not crowd crushing,
it's about a system that was screwed up and failed people.
Exactly. And not one malicious person did something to somebody else. It's a series of unfortunate events.
And it's something that could happen to you because we all get
Ashley,
for the most part.
Why are you putting out that vibe? I don't want to.
A crowd crush. A crowd crush could happen to you. And getting on a plane, you just never know.
I actually only recently have developed a fear of flying while in the air, so that's good. Yeah, I'm scared to fly.
You mean just since she said that, or
no?
The last 3 seconds.
I remember I was flying to Germany once, and I had a Diet Coke, obviously my favorite. Diet Pepsi is my favorite, but we're a Coke podcast anyway. And we had such bad turbulence. I remember my Coke came out of the cup and in, and I was like, I want control over my death. This, if you're sitting there, somebody else is in control. And so if you have a terrible plane story, please email us, let us know, craftingthecase@gmail.com. We want to hear about your stories as well. But yeah, please continue on.
Okay. All right.
We do interrupt though.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you can interrupt, and I'll let you know if it's okay.
Have you did you knew about
I knew about the story.
happened?
Yeah,
What
I
happened?
remember what had happened, and I knew about it a little bit. I didn't know it in detail like this, but
I don't feel like I remember it. It's not.
Well, it was big news. We'll get into it, but some of the players who died in it were well-known hockey players, and the KHL is it's in Russia, so we don't watch it all the time, but it's it's a well-known league. It's a high-level league, and so some of the people. We'll get to the names of the players and the people who
You were really good at pronouncing it. How did you do that?
I was going to say that.
Did you ask phonetically how to do it?
No.
You're smart.
I know how to do phonetics.
It's true, but do you know how to do Russian phonetics?
Some of it. You just sound it out.
Okay.
All right. Lokomotiv Yaroslavl wasn't just a hockey team. It was a cultural institution. Founded in 1959 as HC Lokomotiv, the club was originally the pride of the Soviet railway industry, taking its name from the powerful engines that connected cities across Russia's vast expanse. Based in Yaroslavl, an ancient city along the Volga River, the team embodied the spirit of a hardworking, blue-collar region steeped in history and tradition. Throughout the Soviet era, Lokomotiv carved out a reputation for toughness and heart. They didn't always dominate the standings, but they earned respect. After the fall of the Soviet Union, the club transitioned to the Russian Super League and later became one of the founding teams in the Continental Hockey League, the KHL, which aimed to modernize Russian hockey and compete with the NHL for talent and global relevance. The team's fan base grew as Lokomotiv established itself as a perennial contender. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, they had won 3 national championships. Their red and blue jerseys became synonymous with resilience. Their home arena, Arena 2000, there you go, Cape Breton connection.
Center 200.
There you go. I call it Center 2000.
Dan is there's the connection.
Arena 2000 opened in 2001, and it was a fortress. Games regularly sold out. Children dreamed of wearing the Lokomotiv jersey and crest. The 2011 team was perhaps the most promising in the club's history. The front office had masterfully blended youth and experience. They had scouted and recruited internationally, landing high-profile veterans like Pavel Dimitra, who brought with him over 800 games of NHL experience and the quiet leadership of a man who had seen it all. Belarusian defenseman Ruslan Salei, a grizzled NHL alumni, added stability and maturity on the back end. So that's part of the KHL is sort of known as a place where obviously Russian players play there, but also players at the end of their career will sort of go there. Maybe when they're not necessarily when they're not good enough to be in the NHL, but they can earn a little bit more money
Okay.
in
When
the
they're
later
kinda
part.
retiring?
When they're getting close to the point of retiring. So that would have been Pavel Demitra and Ruslan Saleh.
Do you remember him as a player as well?
Pavel Demitra?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean he played 800 games in the
Yeah.
NHL. They would have Pavel Demitra would have been really well known as an NHL player before going to the KHL.
Cool.
Swedish goalie Stefan Liv was a beloved character with Olympic gold credentials and a flair for the dramatic. Czech players Karel Rachunek, Josef Vasicek, and Jan Marek were not just teammates but close friends, all of them national heroes in their home country. On the Russian side, the roster featured rising stars like Alexander Galimov, an offensively gifted forward who was poised to become the face of the franchise. Veterans like Daniil Sobchenko and Yuri Yurichev anchored the lineup, while Brad McCrimmon, a seasoned NHL player and coach, had been brought in to instill discipline and North American style structure. Training camp had gone very well. Preseason results were promising. Analysts picked Lokomotiv to be a contender for the Gagarin Cup. So the Gagarin Cup is the championship cup named after the astronaut Yuri Gagarin, right?
Right.
Right.
I knew that. Yeah,
Me too.
Eureka.
Remember there was the space race, and there was
Yes.
like the Russia,
Right,
the,
yes.
the first man.
Yeah.
So Yuri Gagarin was the famous astronaut from the Soviet astronaut that went to.
So, Dev,
space.
is this league comparable to like the Q here?
No, it's older. It's not kids. It's
Okay.
Q is for
that
kids
was my
under the age of 20.
That was my question. Like, what would the average
So
age
this would
of
be
this
would be a pro league. So there's
Okay.
no limit on your age. The age would be like the NHL. Some people would say that the KHL would be the second best hockey league in the world now. I don't know about back then. I think it's probably second or third best.
Okay, so we don't have anything comparable to like a professional league like that here.
The NHL.
Besides the NHL, yes.
No,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
no.
This
it's-
is their NHL.
This is their
Yeah,
NHL.
okay.
So that's like, remember I said earlier that this was, when they started the KHL, it was designed to sort of compete with the NHL
Okay.
to be on that level. So,
Gotcha.
training camp had gone well. Preseason results were promising. Analysts picked Lokomotiv to be a contender for the Gagarin Cup. In the locker room, belief was building. They had the talent, the chemistry, and they had the leadership. All that remained was to prove it on the ice. The flight to Minsk was meant to be the beginning of that journey. The destination was a hockey game. The dream was a championship. But they never made it. September 7th, 2011, the team arrived at the Tenoshna airport outside Yaroslavl. They were headed to Belarus. So Minsk is in Belarus. To face Dynamo Minsk. Spirits were high. So the league is not only in Russia. Mostly the teams are in Russia, but there are a couple of teams in other countries as well.
Surrounding.
Yeah, like
countries.
Belarus, and there's a team based in China. There used to be teams in Sweden.
Okay.
I don't know about Finland. There was teams in Sweden. They're no longer because of sanctions against Russia and so
Yes,
forth. But,
yes.
So yes. They boarded a Yakolev Yak 42D, a tri-engine jetliner produced in the 1980s and operated by Yak Service, a Russian airline with a dubious safety record.
Oh no.
The aircraft had undergone maintenance recently, but questions about its reliability remained. The weather was clear, visibility was good. The mood in the cabin, as I said, was light. Players joked, coaches reviewed strategies, and the staff finalized travel details. Some snapped photos, others settled in for the brief flight. This was a familiar routine. Among the 45 people on board were players, coaches, team staff, and of course, flight crew. Only one team member, forward Maxim, now you're testing me, Zyuzyakin, remained behind in Yaroslavl. He had been left off the travel roster as a healthy scratch. He would later say that moment saved his life.
Final Destination.
Final
Is he
Destination.
still alive?
It is giving Final Destination with the plane
Yeah.
too.
Is he alive still?
Is he still alive, Devin?
I believe he is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
We should
so.
get him on the pod.
He didn't die in this plane crash.
That's right.
The plane taxied to the runway and began its takeoff roll, but something was wrong. The Yak 42 seemed sluggish. It veered slightly off course, Witnesses reported hearing a loud engine roar followed by a sudden, eerie silence. At approximately 4:05 p.m., the aircraft failed to lift adequately. The nose pitched upward erratically. The engines strained as the pilots attempted to pull back, but the jet was already running out of runway. On the cockpit recorder, the panic was palpable. One pilot realizes the brakes have not fully disengaged. There's confusion, shouted commands. The pilot's voice trembles. Instruments are misread. Then, chaos. The plane veers slightly left. It reaches the edge of the runway. The nose lifts, but not enough. The plane clips a radar antenna with the wing, and then there's a loud shearing noise. Then, out of nowhere, impact. The aircraft slams into the riverbank at over 180 kilometers per hour.
Whoa.
So this was on takeoff, and they weren't even.
They didn't.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it was on takeoff. The fuselage fractures on contact. The wings break apart. Fuel ignites instantly, producing an intense fireball visible from the airport tower. So it would have been still full of fuel, right? The fuel would have
Yeah. Oh
Gnarly.
god.
Yeah. Inside the cabin, the violence is unspeakable. The sudden stop flings passengers forward. Seats tear from their mounts. Overhead bins collapse. Flames engulf the wreckage. The aircraft is split into multiple sections, strewn along a narrow stretch between the runway and the river.
And you imagine, like, everybody's just sitting in the airport,
Watching
seeing
all their
it.
family members.
Yeah,
Like, they're
yeah.
so excited for like their sons and brothers and husbands to go play hockey.
Oh.
Eyewitnesses from the airport describe seeing a rolling wall of fire and a huge column of black smoke. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, but they were confronted by an inferno. The heat was so intense they couldn't immediately approach. Black smoke billowed across the airfield.
Jeez, that's crazy.
First responders arrived quickly, but the scene was horrific. The aircraft was mangled and burning. The riverbank was littered with debris. Bodies and wreckage were strewn across the smoldering stretch of marshland. The terrain made access very difficult. The mud pulled at the responders' boots, and the flames consumed what little remained of the fuselage.
So did you say they kind of went into a body of water, or like a?
They hit the riverbank.
They hit the river bank, okay, but must have went into the river a bit as well.
Right.
Yuck.
Out of the 45 people on board, 44 were killed almost instantly. Miraculously, 2 survived the initial crash. Flight engineer Alexander Sizov and forward hockey player Alexander Galimov. Galimov, suffering burns over 90% of his body, was rushed to the hospital. Despite desperate efforts from doctors, he succumbed to his injuries 5 days later.
Oh my god, so the whole hockey team died.
Sizov would ultimately survive, becoming a key witness in the investigation.
Ooh, I'm glad there's an investigation.
In a later interview with Russian television, Sizov described the moment of impact. There was a loud crack, then everything turned black. I remember fire, screams. I don't know how I got out. He was pulled from the wreckage with severe injuries, but managed to remain conscious until the rescue teams arrived. The rescue and recovery effort was harrowing. Fire crews and emergency medics were first on the scene, some wearing protective gear not suited for such intense heat. They battled towering flames and choking black smoke as they worked their way through the wreckage. Some sections of the fuselage continued to burn for hours. Local firefighters described using water cannons and foam to suppress the burning fuel, while medical staff triaged the few bodies they could reach. Bulldozers were later brought in to help shift heavy parts of the fuselage. Many responders worked without pause all through the night. A paramedic at the scene told Komsomolskaya Pravda, that's a newspaper, Komsomolskaya Pravda, we kept hoping to find someone alive in the rear section of the plane where the fire hadn't reached as fiercely. But as the hours passed, all hope disappeared.
It's horrible.
News reports from the scene described the devastation in stark terms. The Moscow Times ran a front page headline the next morning, "A city loses its soul."
Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
Reporters spoke to stunned airport workers, one of whom said, "We saw the plane burning, but there was nothing we could do. It was too late."
Now, Dev, I'm not sure if you're going to address it later. Does like the entire hockey world kind of acknowledge this? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was definitely a huge thing in the hockey world.
Yeah.
Investigators and recovery teams scoured the wreckage through the night. Forensic specialists were brought in from Moscow. Some bodies were so badly burned they could only be identified through dental records or DNA testing. Personal effects, a team jacket, a scorched hockey glove, a water bottle lay scattered among the debris. The black boxes were recovered intact, later revealing harrowing audio and flight data. Back at Arena 2000, families gathered. The news spread quickly, but for hours, information was incomplete and often contradictory. Some relatives clung to hope, misinformed that survivors had been rescued. In the end, the reality was worse than they feared. A journalist from RIA Novosti recalled the scene inside the arena. It was silent except for crying. People were clinging to each other. It felt like the air had been sucked out of the building.
Wow.
The news rippled across the hockey world like a shockwave. The KHL postponed all games. NHL players, teams, and fans paid tribute. Countries mourned the loss of their native sons. Teammates from around the world posted photos, shared memories, and tried to make sense of the unimaginable.
So, sorry, go ahead.
I'm almost at a break here. So, in Yaroslavl, the city stopped. People took the streets in stunned silence. Mourners left flowers outside the arena. Vigils were held. The arena, once a place of celebration and pride, had become a place of mourning.
I was just going to say, I watched that documentary. I talked about it last week in the podcast, the Manhunt, the search for Osama bin Laden, and it played some of the audio from the plane that the people took down. Do you remember there was like one of the planes that the passengers like stormed the terrorists or whatever? And some of those people on the plane actually got to phone their like loved ones, and it played their voice recordings.
Oh my God. They did that with like 9/11 too,
I
right?
know.
Like people that were like, I'm not going to make it home. I love you so much.
Yeah, like people over in the building.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I remember when I was hearing it, I was like, these people sound so calm. They like, on the phone, this woman's like, yeah, there's something going on with the plane. We're not going to make it. And she's like so calm. So I wonder about in this accident, or, you know, if there was much time for them to even recognize
I don't think
what
so.
was happening.
I think it happened pretty
I hope
quickly.
that they didn't, you know, like hopefully they didn't
Yeah.
think like this is it, we're going down.
Yeah, I mean, they might have survived on the plane for a while, like after the collision, but I think the collision would have happened pretty quickly.
enough.
They wouldn't have, like,
Suffered.
it wouldn't, yeah.
That's like the worst part of the flight for me too. Like when it lifts just off the ground, you kind of feel you sink back with the weight, and I always worry that that's when the plane is going to crash.
Well, and then when you think about it, isn't that the safest time for it to crash? Like you're not that high
Well,
up.
normally, but like Devin said, all the fuel on the
Well,
plane.
when you're not,
Yeah,
that,
the fuel.
you're not that high up, you also don't have time to make decisions either,
Yeah.
right?
And there were
Yeah.
safety concerns to begin with.
Yeah, my friend Daryl always talks about, like, if you're in the plane and you're high up and something goes wrong, you know, you have lots of time to try and figure it out, like, or fix it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, not that he's ever been through anything like this, I don't think, but
No.
I mean, that's sort of the idea, is that you try and stay up in the air as long as you can and
Yeah.
figure it out, and you can switch, your power to one thing or another, or
Yeah.
It's just horrible to think about.
Yeah.
all right, do you want to talk about the investigation?
You know I do,
Yeah.
as a non-legal lawyer.
I have one more question.
Okay.
The one guy that survived, do we know why that was? Like, where was he?
I don't think
plane?
it didn't really say why he survived. Like, I mean, he was in the cockpit.
No.
I think that's
Yeah,
what,
because he was an engineer of something.
yeah,
right?
he was a part of the crew.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't a player or
None of the
a
hockey
coach. He
players
wasn't part of the
survived.
hockey team. I think he was part of the.
Oh, okay.
So I think he might have. Yeah, I think he might have been. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get to.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. Within hours of the crash, investigators from the Interstate Aviation Committee, I guess in Russia that abbreviates to MAK, so I'll call it the MAC, along with local law enforcement and Russian aviation authorities, were on the ground at the crash site. The wreckage was still smoldering when they arrived. The remains of the aircraft were scattered across the muddy embankment and shallow waters. Black boxes were recovered, bodies identified, and early assessments were quietly shared among the officials. There was pressure from the highest levels of government. Answers were needed and they were needed quickly. Initial speculation ran wild. Some feared a terrorist attack. Others blamed a catastrophic mechanical failure. But the black boxes, including both the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder, told a far more human and disturbing story. There was no explosion, no bird strike, no major system failure. The engines were working until impact.
Wait. Is this a ghost story?
Maybe.
This is
The
a
voice-
conspiracy.
The voice recordings revealed mounting confusion and errors in the cockpit from the moment the aircraft began taxiing. Flight procedures were not followed. Checklist items were skipped. As the aircraft accelerated, it became evident the pilots had failed to disengage the braking system properly.
So it's not a ghost story, it's user error.
Oh my gosh.
It's not a
Devin.
ghost story. Ghosts don't exist.
Oh.
Wait, you're not
You're
a
the wrong
believer? You're not a believer? Okay, I have legal questions for you after you talk about this then.
Yeah, let's get into that.
As the aircraft accelerated, it became evident the pilots had failed to disengage the braking system properly. The brakes were still partially applied as the plane barreled down the runway.
Oh.
So
one
that's
of
why
the-
they couldn't take off.
That's
Yeah,
why
'cause
they
their brakes were on.
they couldn't get the speed right.
Oh my god.
One of the most heartbreaking discoveries, the co-pilot's foot was pressing down on the brake pedals unintentionally but continuously. In his panic and unfamiliarity with the Yak 42's control layout, he was inhibiting the aircraft's ability to gain takeoff speed.
Was this their first flight? Like, what is going
Man.
on here?
What?
Not only was their first flight,
The hell?
this critical error, uncorrected by the captain, meant that the plane never achieved the necessary velocity to lift safely.
Oh my gosh.
At one point in the voice recordings, the captain expresses frustration and disbelief, shouting over warning alarms as the plane reaches the runway's end. The nose lifts, but the aircraft is already in a stall. Seconds later, it clips a radar antenna and crashes into the riverbank.
Oh my god, this is bananas. The investigative team must have been like, okay, well, at least we know what's going on, but like,
What the hell?
whoops.
Yeah.
An autopsy of the co-pilot revealed the presence of phenobarbital,
Oh,
a
no.
powerful sedative banned in aviation.
Oh.
It is known to impair coordination, decision-making, and reaction time. Investigators concluded it likely dulled his responses in the cockpit, making a bad situation even worse.
What's the Denzel movie?
Yeah.
What is it?
That's what it reminded me of too.
It's not the Sully movie.
No.
You know where you guys know the one I'm talking
Pilot?
about. What is that movie called?
Yeah, I know the one you mean. I can't think of it.
Oh my gosh! If you have that much responsibility, please
You
don't
have
take.
so many people's lives in your
barbitals.
hands. Yeah.
But the investigation's most damning revelations were about Yak Service, the airline operating the flight.
What?
The company had a troubling history of safety violations, maintenance records were incomplete or falsified, training was inadequate, and most critically, both pilots were improperly certified to operate the Yak 42.
Well, yeah, that makes.
Just
sounds
imagine
like-
them go to Subway and be like, "Yeah, are you guys busy later?" Like,
Well, I know, pilots have to go through annual certification
yes.
for whatever plane they fly, right? So if you switch from flying one type of plane to another type of plane, you have to go and do like training, simulator training and stuff like that.
Oh, so you can't be hopping to different.
Well, I mean, if you could be certified on different planes, I think
Okay.
you could be certified to fly different types of planes. But like if you're going to be flying a plane that you've never flown before, you have to go and get you have to go and
Yes.
do some
That makes a lot of sense.
simulator training and stuff like that.
That does make sense because
Yeah. The captain had only received minimal training in the aircraft type, and the co-pilot's credentials had been forged.
What?
Neither pilot had logged enough hours on the Yak 42 to meet Russian aviation standards. Investigators found that the captain had not completed simulator training and had never been tested under emergency scenarios.
Oh.
There were no oversight mechanisms in place to catch these lapses. The MAC's final report was unsparing. It laid the blame squarely on both human error and systemic regulatory failure. The crash was, in their words, a tragic consequence of egregious violations of aviation law, institutional negligence, and deficient safety culture.
Whoa.
In the wake of the findings, Yak Service was stripped of its operating license. Criminal charges were considered against multiple company officials, though few faced significant consequences. Several high-ranking aviation regulators resigned or were dismissed in the scandal's aftermath. Internationally, the crash and its causes were met with outrage. Aviation authorities in Europe and North America demanded stricter cooperation with Russian air safety agencies. The International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, urged Russia to modernize its oversight practices. But for the families, or the victims' families, fans, and teammates, no official report could fill the void left behind. The investigation confirmed what many had feared. This wasn't an unavoidable tragedy. It was preventable. A series of choices, corner cutting, deception, complacency had cost 44 lives. And those choices had been made long before the wheels ever left the ground.
There must have been, like, people marching in the streets over this. Like, that is insane.
It's Russia, so I think things are probably a little bit different.
Probably a lot different.
I think certainly the families and
That's
the hockey, it would have been.
so horrible.
Yeah.
So, Dev, I know you're a lawyer here, but
I'm a legal lawyer,
you're a legal lawyer here in Nova Scotia. But I know you're probably familiar with Russian laws as well.
Not really.
Would people be able to sue civilly? I know that you mentioned that they didn't follow up criminally, which to me is kind of crazy.
Well, they did, but
okay.
but not fully, right?
Or did they do it to individuals?
Yeah, they sued like individual
Okay.
court members of the court, like of the company, right?
Of the
company
company,
officials
yes.
who would have been responsible.
I just remember you saying
They
that
didn't sue them. They charged them criminally. Some
Right.
of them. I don't know civil law in Russia, unfortunately.
What? You didn't prepare that well for
Yeah.
your episode?
Yeah.
If it happened here,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you would.
yeah.
Yeah, you would sue for wrongful death and
Yeah.
negligence and.
especially when it's like, if it was an accident or like an act of God or something, like maybe not so much, but
Well,
like,
yeah, well, that's negligence requires that you do something or fail to do something in a way that you have an obligation to a person to take reasonable measures to ensure their safety or what have you, and you don't do them, or you do something that directly
right.
goes against that, right? So that's kind of what negligence means. You have an obligation and you fail to live up to the standard that is created by that. So if something just happens purely by accident, and it could have happened to anybody, or that's different than if you've specifically done things or failed to do things that result in the accident.
I know you're gonna probably tie it up, but I want to know if any money was rewarded to victims.
We're getting there. Let's talk
Let's
about
do a not midway, but you're I don't know how close you are. Let's do a little check-in though with the craft. We also do a midpoint check-in. Yes. Ashley, how are you feeling about your
I'm doing. I am not doing anything fancy. I
Yeah.
think I'm just straight coloring it. I'm trying to get used to the alcohol markers.
Yeah.
But I'm doing a little frog and a duck birthday in a notebook. I don't really know exactly what's going on, but I like it.
I am doing a woman working in her wood shop. I've been really creative with some of the color choices. I did do a wood feature on the flooring, which I can teach Ashley later. And I did an ombre effect on the leaves. I did a little bit of wood on this little thing, but yeah, we're getting there.
Why is there a doghouse in the middle of the house?
What do you mean? Like, this is the doghouse, there's the dog. She might be
Why
building.
is the dog? Oh, maybe she's building.
This is her wood shop,
Gotcha.
is my assumption.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm also wondering about that right there. What's that?
Just like, it's a wrench.
Oh.
The wrench is hanging.
It's a wrench, all right.
Devin, it's hanging from her
All
wood.
the hockey people out there will know what a wrench is.
I don't know what a wrench is in hockey.
Listen to Spit and Chicklets.
We might get some boy listeners now.
We do have boy listeners. Mostly husbands of our friends.
Yeah.
Or partners of our friends.
Yeah.
I think you might get a few more lady listeners.
Oh, Devin does have he does have a soothing tone, doesn't he?
He does.
Yes, we're the perfect. We should be doing a podcast together too.
Babe, can I say something?
Is it gonna hurt my feelings?
Maybe.
Well, then don't say it.
Okay.
And Sheila's here.
You have a tone, but I don't know if I would ever describe it as soothing.
No, it's definitely not soothing.
No, you don't have a soothing tone.
No, but it is commanding.
What is this, Steve?
Toilet paper.
Oh, it's toothpaste.
It's the cat.
Mars.
Okay. It's right next to the scrapbook, Ashley. Duh.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the glue. That would make more sense than toothpaste.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
Why
continue
wouldn't the
on.
glue be strawberry flavored?
It's
It's a toothpaste.
just decorative. Strawberry, I think.
All right. Each of the 44 victims had a story. We're not going to go through all 44. They were not just names on a roster. They were fathers, sons, brothers,
Holy Spirit.
and teammates. The crash did not just claim players. It took coaches, medical staff, and flight crew, many of whom had families waiting for their return. Pavel Dimitra, who we've talked about, was 36 years old and was one of Slovakia's greatest hockey players ever. Veteran of over 800 NHL games, he played for the St. Louis Blues, the Minnesota Wild, the LA Kings, and the Vancouver Canucks. Off the ice, he was known as a gracious, soft-spoken, and endlessly generous. His final game had been at the 2011 World Championships, where he led all players in scoring. Brad McCrimmon was 52 years old and had been a respected NHL defenseman and was a mentor to young players. He had just taken the head coaching job with Lokomotiv and was eager to lead a KHL team for the first time. He had left behind a wife and 2 children back in Canada. Stefan Liv, the 30-year-old Swedish goaltender and Olympic gold medalist, had a playful demeanor and was beloved by fans in both Sweden and in Russia. His death triggered a national outpouring of grief in Sweden. That's kind of Swedish goaltenders. There's another story of, you won't know this, but hockey fans will know, Pelle Lindberg was another young Swedish goaltender who died in a car crash.
Oh my
When he
gosh,
was
bad
25,
luck.
A long time ago. So.
Maybe we'll get some Swedish listeners.
Yeah. Karol Rachendek, Jan Marek, and Josef Vasicek, the 3 Czech players, were national heroes. Marek scored the game-winning goal in the gold medal match of the 2010 World Championships, and all 3 were honored posthumously in their country. Ruslan Salei, the veteran Belarusian defenseman, had captained his national team and had spent 14 seasons in the NHL. He was revered for his leadership, calm presence, and commitment to his teammates. There were others, obviously, young players just beginning their careers, equipment managers who had been with the club for decades, trainers who traveled with the team across Russia and Europe. Their loss was felt in homes, locker rooms, and communities far beyond Yaroslavl. Yaroslavl, a city of 600,000, was paralyzed by grief. The Lokomotiv team was its heart, its cultural pride, and its rallying point. Within hours of the crash, thousands gathered outside Arena 2000. People held candles, sang hymns, and they wept openly. The memorials continued for weeks. Fans left team scarves, signed pucks, and handwritten notes along the arena's gates. Local churches held vigils. The Russian Orthodox Patriarch led a memorial service attended by national leaders. The KHL canceled all of Lokomotiv's games for the 2011-12 season. The organization decided not to field a replacement team immediately, allowing time for the community to grieve and the club to rebuild from the ground up. A temporary team was entered into Russia's minor league, staffed mostly by junior players. The crash shook the global hockey community. The crash shook the global hockey community. NHL arenas held moments of silence. Players wore commemorative patches. Teams hosted tributes, with fans standing silently by the thousands. In Slovakia, an arena was renamed in Pavel Dimitra's honor. In the Czech Republic, Jan Marek's hometown built a monument. In Belarus, fans walked silently through the streets of Minsk, candles in hand, mourning Ruslan Salei. Right, so Salei was actually going back to his hometown to play in that game, right?
That's
So
right,
Minsk
yeah.
was where he was from. I don't know if he was from Minsk, but he was certainly from Belarus. So he was going to play in Belarus when the plane crashed. I'm almost there. The pain was almost acute. But the pain was most acute in Yaroslavl. The streets felt emptier. The laughter and songs of game nights vanished. For a time, the city moved like it was mourning. that it was in mourning, heavy, slow, and silent.
I'm not sure about other sports, but it feels like hockey has had a lot more tragedy than other sports. Like, it's reminding me of the Humboldt Broncos tragedy and when you're talking about like how it's felt throughout like their countries and stuff. Like, I remember people were putting hockey sticks out on their steps.
Yeah.
We wore jerseys to work, like to honor and that was on the other side of our country too.
Yeah.
And I think there's like always an elevated risk when you're traveling with your whole team. Like, do they ever separate them a bit? You know, just in case.
Well, I don't. Yeah.
Yikes.
I mean, I get that it happens, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen
You can't-
often enough. Yeah.
You obviously don't plan for stuff like this, and
No.
that's what makes it so tragic. I
So
think.
horrible.
The crash forced the Russian government to confront uncomfortable truths about the state of its aviation industry. A series of audits exposed dozens of small regional carriers with similar lax safety standards. In response, Russia grounded several aircraft types temporarily. Pilots were subjected to new rounds of testing, licenses were rechecked, and the Ministry of Transport introduced stricter regulations governing pilot training and aircraft maintenance. But enforcement proved difficult. Russia's vast geography and limited infrastructure meant regional airlines remained necessary despite their questionable safety records. Some critics argued that systemic corruption and bureaucratic inefficiency made lasting reform unlikely. Within the KHL, the league implemented new travel protocols. Teams were required to verify the safety record and certification of charter operators. The league also increased funding for internal compliance and emergency planning.
I kind of like that even though the government was like, oh, we can't really do that much, the KHL was like, no, we're not messing around here.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
new
the KHL
protocols.
would have probably had, the resources to a degree to do
Yeah.
a lot of this extra stuff. I mean, obviously, if you're just flying a flight, you can't check in on the pilots or the airline to make sure that they're doing everything right. But, as a bigger organization, the hockey team and the KHL could probably do that. Internationally, the crash prompted hockey federations to revisit their own travel policies. European clubs formed committees to evaluate aircraft leasing and to mandate regular reviews of travel arrangements. Despite these changes, many felt they came too late. For the families of the 44 victims, no regulation could bring back their loved ones.
That's always the case, though. There's always changes after something
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Well, and that's, if we're talking about the law, that's kind of like
Yeah.
the concept of the law to a degree is that,
Yeah.
change comes through.
Which is great.
That's
it's
why the law
happening,
exists,
but-
because it
Yeah.
deters people from, committing the same mistakes or
Yeah.
the
But
same.
it's responsive, not proactive.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's
you
exactly
hope that
right.
it would be proactive to a degree.
It's not.
Yeah.
The idea that the law will punish you if you don't do these things, or if you cheat, or if you cut corners, hopefully will cause you to be proactive and
Yeah.
to not just fix the problem that just happened, but also look in the future to maybe address
Things.
other problems that might arise as
It's
well.
hard to imagine that that's somebody's whole job is like risk assessment or like thinking the worst possible thing that could happen.
Yeah, there's yeah.
That's the total thing.
My anxiety is really bad. I could probably do that.
If you have bad anxiety, this could be the job for you.
So the legacy of Lokomotiv. The years that followed were a period of rebuilding, not just for the team, but for a city and a sport. Lokomotiv Yaroslavl returned to the KHL for the 2012-13 season. The roster was made up of young prospects and seasoned veterans who volunteered to rebuild what was lost. They played not just to win, but to honor. Every shift on the ice carried the memory of those who had perished. Their jerseys bore commemorative patches, their arena displayed murals and plaques. Fans cheered through their tears. Annually, on September the 7th, Yaroslavl holds a vigil. Names are read aloud, photos are displayed. The city falls silent for 44 seconds. The arena, once filled with mourning, is now a place of remembrance and renewal. Then, the Lokomotiv tragedy is taught in aviation safety courses. It is remembered in hockey halls and memorials. Documentaries, books, and exhibits have been dedicated to preserving the story. The team's motto, once a slogan, now resonates with deeper meaning. we play with honor. Today, Lokomotiv Yaroslavl is once again a competitive force in the KHL, but the echoes of 2011 remain. They are heard in the opening face-off. They are seen in the solemn eyes of the veteran fans. They are felt in the reverence with which young players wear the Lokomotiv crest. This was more than a crash. It was a collective wound, a collective promise to remember, to learn, and to never forget.
Devin!
There you go. That's the story of the September 7, 2011 Lokomotiv Yaroslavl plane crash.
I really like it because it's not something that I would ever like look into probably myself. Like,
same.
Because it's just a hockey story. I wouldn't think to go down it, but wow.
Yeah, it's one of the, I mean, when Sandy said like to try and do a story that might have some crossover into sports, that was sort of one of the first ones that came up as far as, I mean, I know it's not technically true crime, but I know you guys don't sort of just...
No,
that is true crime. Yes.
Like,
well, it's crime.
Yeah.
But it's not sort of like, you know, what you traditionally think of.
It's not a murder.
It's not a serial killer or whatever.
Or like a ghost story.
But no, it's a cool story, and I know like Sandy loves...
I love
I should. I mean, it sounds weird to say you love plane
tragedy,
crashes, but like plane crash stories are they're intriguing to people who are.
Well, that one is so especially difficult because
notice how well behaved the dog is when I'm here, as opposed to when it's
no,
just
he was licking my leg first.
She was licking my leg too.
She's tired out. She spent the day at daycare with her new boyfriend. She has a new boyfriend.
She's a new boyfriend there. He's so cute. But the thing about this plane crash, like if I'm going on a plane crash, it better be because of aliens hit it. Like something tangible went wrong. Not a guy kept his foot down. Like I am haunting that dude, and he's dead too, and we're beefing in hell together. Okay, that is horrible. It's the worst. But
that's a lot.
It's also again the thing with plane crashes and other like train crashes and crowd crushing is like you have no control over anything. You can't change something to fix it yourself. You know, like if you're driving your own car, maybe you can correct it or whatever, but like here you just have no control over your own death, and that freaks me out a bit. I think.
You know what the worst part is too for me? It's like when they were talking about the family like in the waiting room, like waiting to find out if there's victims. Like that part always gets me of the story, like when it's like a school shooting or like some kind of disaster, and like the families are just waiting to find out. Like I hope to never be in a room like that.
Well, you have kids, right?
Well, that's part of the. When you asked me earlier whether I remembered this, I mean that's part of what I remember is that I'm trying to. I mean, I don't know where we would have been with social media back then, but I remember like the story sort of coming out and being, evolving. Like, 1 minute there were survivors, and then the next minute there weren't. And this guy was on the plane, and that guy was on the plane, and then oh no, maybe this guy wasn't on the plane. It's so like it showed like it's the what do you call it? You're a teacher, the broken telephone or whatever. Like it's
maybe one person.
So it's like the story. The story until the official story comes out. You're getting different reports from different people who are hearing rumors from different people who have heard from somebody. And so until the official story comes out and somebody stands up at a podium and says this is what happened, the story can sort of take a whole bunch of different routes, right?
And as human beings, we just want closure. I think we want to know what happened. We want it neat and tidy. And
but I mean, when you're waiting though too, right? Like Ashley says, like when you're the family and you're sitting there waiting to hear, and then 1 minute you're hearing like, okay, there's survivors, and then you get your hopes up, and then you're hearing there's no survivors, and then you're hearing there's a couple survivors or one survivor. In this case there was two survivors at that time, and then of course you're sitting there thinking, well, you're praying that it's
my loved one,
it's your person, but then you're also like you're hoping it's your person, but then the person next to you is hoping it's their person, and you presumably know each other to a degree because you're all in the same hockey world, and so it's
what a tragedy. That was a good story though. You told it beautifully, Devin. As you always do.
I was wondering when you said plane crash, it was going to be like one of the ones where like people ate each other to survive and stuff.
It's like the ones in the Andes or whatever, the soccer teams.
They
didn't eat each other, did they?
Yeah.
That's the show
that I watched.
There's a movie
The
about
Hornets, or what do they call it? It's
There was a movie done about it, with the
think
soccer
it's been a
team that
couple
crashed in
times.
the Andes Mountains.
Yeah.
I would eat somebody. I think we've had this conversation.
I would
before.
for sure. Because I would want them to eat me if I was already dead and they were going to survive.
But that's, I don't think they were
I think the
already
meat
dead.
goes bad.
They weren't dead?
Well, no, but they were
You gotta
dead.
keep
They
going
killed
before it
them.
dries.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, they killed them in
Oh.
order to eat them.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like Sandy died, so I was like,
Well, I mean, I think that might be part of it too in some cases, but I think, well, it's like the Lord of the Rings and all that stuff, right?
Not Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies.
sorry.
get
Same
your
thing.
asthma. Was that part of it?
Get your what?
Something about asthma.
Sorry, everybody. Had a bit of a break there. Just some technical difficulties. Don't know what you missed, but we're going to continue on. We're just going to go right into the after show. So Dev probably doesn't even know what the after show is.
No.
Because he's never got that far. That's okay. The after show is where we just talk about like what's going on in our lives, things we've watched, we've read,
The Okie after show?
and then what's that?
The Okie afterbirth?
Ew, Devin from The Office.
Yeah. Okie after show.
And so then maybe you can give another shout out to all your other endeavors on social media. Actually, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I never go first. I don't have too much. I got my nails done. You probably can't see them from that far away.
She'll post a picture though.
I did watch a really good movie last night.
Oh.
I can't recommend it to everybody.
Oh,
As with most of the movies you watch, probably, actually.
Yeah, so it was actually based on a true story. It's called Bully, and I believe it was from 2001, but it was based on a murder from the 1990s.
oh.
So
then it
a
is
group
people.
of friends murder one of their friends who's like the bully, right? So they
Wow.
plot this murder, and the characters are completely unhinged, and they're based on real
Come here,
people. So I was like last night after I watched the movie, my boyfriend hated it. I loved it. Everyone was really, messed up in
Yeah.
the movie, and it was kind of gory, and there was lots and lots of sex. So if you don't like any of that, don't watch it. But I was looking up to see like who was still in prison and who was
Oh,
doing a
so-
life sentence, and
Yeah.
because some people have gotten out, some of them are still there. So
Oh, wow.
it'd be like a really dark and twisted movie.
That's what whenever Sandy, and she makes me listen to
True crime.
crime podcast, I'm always like looking on my phone to see like what is this person, because it's typically all done audio, right?
Yeah.
So what does this person look like,
It
and are they
does,
still in
and that's
jail?
what I went
And-
through like each person, and I guess the bully movie was based on a book that was based on the trial and stuff. I guess
Oh.
I'm not quite sure, but anyways, it was in the late '90s, so
Cool.
it was I really liked it. My boyfriend didn't like it, so I don't know. Take a
Yeah.
chance or don't. I don't know.
Or don't take a chance or
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
And that's about it, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out first. I did have a listener reach out to us through Instagram suggesting a craft for us, so we will be doing the craft, but
Ooh.
just in the future. Summer's going to be tricky with the podcast because
Yeah.
we're off, we're back and forth, we're traveling a bit, but hopefully we can bring in some amazing people like Devin to come and tell some fun stories or do something fun.
Yeah. And we
Um,
might not always record
Yeah, so you might miss a week.
on the Monday or the
Yeah,
Sunday.
Sunday.
Like we're doing it on Wednesday now.
Yeah, just this
So
week.
just you
And
never
then
know.
once the fall comes back, hopefully we get back into our schedules.
Mm-hmm.
As far as my after show, I was in Cape Breton for a couple days. I've listened to, I'm on my second book by the same author. The first book I listened to was called We Solve Murders. It was so good. I loved it. It was really fun to listen to. The person who narrated it is British. I loved it. I'm listening to the second book by the same author. Don't know the author's name, but it's called The Thursday Murder Club, which I want to start a murder club where we solve murders. We don't do murders. Do crafts, not crime. And then I finished another book. I finished the Frida McFadden book, The Tenant. I finished another romancy summer book, not my genre, don't love it. And I've started an amazing book called The Guest List by, her last name is Foley. You know what I did? I like, obviously, murder and stuff like this, but I just Googled Agatha Christie style books, a whodunit, Murder, Orient Express. What does that look for?
Why don't you just read Agatha Christie books? She wrote 1,000 of
read
them.
them.
I know, I haven't
She
read
wrote
any
1,000 of them, and you haven't read
Oh.
any of them. But you want to read Agatha Christie style books? Just
Just
read Agatha Christie books.
I want to read a modern one because sometimes when I read old-timey books, I
They're
find a
outdated.
hard
But
time.
you haven't even read them.
I know, but I'm worried that
A great book is
timeless.
yes.
But
I
what
will.
books has Agatha Christie wrote?
She's
Like
a
hundreds of
huge,
them.
she's
Yeah.
a major.
I don't know.
Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an awesome. Well, I haven't read it yet, but I will. I made a promise.
So you don't like old-timey books, so maybe you don't like Agatha Christie books.
But I like this style, like whodunit. We're all in one place. Like, there's a murder. Everybody has a story. So that's the style of this book.
And do you like a quick read or a longer
It's kind of
one?
quick. No, I definitely like short ones. But this one, it's more about, like, not being distracted by my phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's what's going on. Nothing really. We're heading on vacation next week with Devin's family. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah. Okay, Dev, what's going on with you? You can talk about, like, maybe what you're watching, what you're doing, and then maybe some stuff with your Recliner Sports or TV.
Okay. What am I doing? I'm watching The Bear. The Bear's back out.
Too chaotic for me.
It is
I've
pretty
decided.
chaotic, and I'm not.
What's The Bear?
You know, the show about with it's on Disney, and it's like the guy's a chef.
I don't have Disney.
Oh, it's like pretty famous actually.
Yeah.
A lot of people know it.
It's one of those shows that they release the entire season all at once, so it's not like you have to wait every week for the episode. So no, it's good. I like it, but it's just, again, I think it's a lot like, you always make fun of Entourage, right?
I can't. Yes.
So it's like,
I've never
Vinny's gonna make the movie. Vinny can't make the movie. So in Bear, it's like, oh, the restaurant's gonna survive. Oh, it's not gonna survive.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like it keeps dragging you along to like get to the point where you're sort of sitting watching the show, hoping that one day the restaurant's just going to be awesome and everyone's going to be great and they're going to be famous and everyone's going to be happy and everything's going to be perfect, but it's just when it looks like it might be going right, then everybody's upset again.
Yeah.
But
they yell at each other.
It is pretty chaotic.
They yell,
but it is good. I like it. So
yes.
I mean, I'm watching that. Not really like killing myself to watch it. Like I'm not sort of like it's not. I'm not like dying to watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe you should watch Bully.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Not Devin's movie at all.
It's on Tubi.
Doesn't sound like my
By
style,
the way,
but maybe.
Tubi, yes.
Which is free. I love Tubi.
Yeah.
Tubi has a lot of
Tubi's
old
good.
movies, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing is
like
watching
90s styles.
and even like before that, like 70s, 60s, like
It is true, and it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty. I mean, I watch mostly YouTube. I watch a lot of hockey stuff
You're
on
reading
YouTube.
tons now,
So
too.
yeah, so I'm reading. I just finished a Jeff Pearlman book about the Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, LA Lakers.
Oh, cool.
And so that's quite good. That was a good book. Jeff Pearlman's a great author if you like reading about sports. He's an unbelievable
His name's
writer.
familiar.
No,
he was
you're thinking about Ron Perlman.
Yeah, Ron
Okay.
Perlman.
The actor.
He was on.
Who's Ron Perlman?
He was the guy who played the father on what was the biker show?
Oh yes. And he
Sons of
plays like
Sons of Anarchy.
Does he play
The guy
like
with the
Daredevil or
beard.
something?
He also played like the Beauty and the
Beauty and the
Beast
Beast.
because
He
he has
played
that
the
like
Beast,
he
the
has a
ugly
head that
face.
looks like.
Sorry, we paused there by accident. My watch hit something. But anyway, we were talking about Ron Perlman. We connected.
Yeah. Jeff Pearlman's book, and I'm reading the Brad Thor series. Scott Harveth, like sort of political. Sorry, more like spy kind of crime books, and I'm reading a lot of those. So, but yeah, as far as the Recliner Sports stuff goes, if you're interested in that stuff, Recliner Sports is kind of my identity, what do you want to call it, online. As far as sports goes, I'm doing not daily shows, but a couple times a week I'm doing shows during the day called Habs Therapy Day, which is just basically a look at the Montreal Canadiens and a deeper dive into some of the issues involving the Montreal Canadiens, the team, my favorite team.
Are you considering doing a podcast at all? Because being podcasters is a total thing.
I could podcast it. I mean, I'm doing basically a thing, but I'm doing it on my own. Like like it's just me. So, I mean, I could extract it and turn it into. Oh, you mean with you guys?
We could be on your show.
Well, if you know anything about hockey, you could come on the show if you want.
I sure do.
You don't really know.
My dad worked at a rink.
Oh my gosh,
So-
he did work at a rink. He was
He was the
so many
manager.
good men.
The New Waterford Jets.
I don't even
Yeah,
know.
Sharks.
That's the
Sharks.
extent of my knowledge is that he worked there.
Yeah. No. So yeah, Habs Therapy Day, and then during the season, I do post-game show called Habs After Dark.
Yay.
French and English too. If you're, it's a bilingual show. So if I speak French, and if you want to be there and speak French, and maybe
You
the
and
girls,
Ashley can have a conversation.
maybe the girls could do their show in French one of these times.
We will. Yeah.
Sandy knows no French.
I know many French, much French.
So yeah, so that's pretty much it for me. Work, gym, Habs After Dark,
Vacation
Habs Therapy
next
Day,
week.
vacation. Yeah, we're going away. My brothers are coming to town. Well, yeah, we're hanging out with my brothers, and my sister is here from Australia. My brothers are driving up. My sister-in-law is here. My nieces and nephews, and
Yeah, it's a big family thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys always do that, or it's just
Yes.
okay?
yeah, I mean, they don't come home every year.
Yeah.
But when they do, there's always something at my mom's place. But there's always family. Like
Yeah.
it's on the beach. It's right on the water, and
It's beautiful.
it's a pretty good spot to be in the summertime.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's gonna be hopefully not super
It
hot.
was a scorcher today.
Remember last year was super hot. I mean, I don't know. It's like my mom never likes to like turn the air conditioning on. She's like,
She's like,
so
yeah.
you always feel, but you also feel like there's so many people around, you feel sort of compelled to stay outside, and when it's like
Yeah.
30 degrees, sometimes you just
break.
want to go inside and just like cool down a little bit.
I was thinking about it today though. Ashley, tell me, and maybe Devin grew up in Quebec, kind of. So tell me your experience with air conditioners when you were a child though. Like when we were kids, like no houses had air
Unheard of.
conditioning. Unheard of, never a thing.
No.
I remember what a special day it was if we ate our
Yeah.
suppers in the basement because it was so hot. Was
Yeah.
it a thing with you guys?
No, we never had air conditioning.
My parents always just got up really early in the morning and like shut all the blinds. So
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
pitch dark in the house so the sun can't get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, like, we have a heat pump. We're gonna get another
I
one.
don't think we ever did.
I,
I don't
feel
know.
like
I don't
Quebec
think-
is hot though.
Oh, it's way hotter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Way hotter.
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's probably it. We'll take some pictures of our coloring. Had a blast having Devs on the show. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
thank
for
you,
joining
Devin.
us.
Thanks for having me.
In a
Story.
pinch, it was a great story. You told it beautifully.
Yeah, so Recliner Sports, if you want to get it, it's on YouTube. It's a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We'll
I'm
link
on
it.
I'm on most social media stuff, but if you
Yeah.
are, I mean, I don't know if there's a crossover between
Hockey and true crime.
crimey crafters,
You never
Yeah.
know.
crafty crimers.
Well, our tagline, our little motto is "Do crafts, not crime."
Is it crafty crimer or crimey crafter?
We're not
Crafting
sure.
the case. Oh,
No, but what are the people called?
we don't know.
We don't know yet.
We don't
Crimey crafters. What do you think? Crafty
I like
crime?
it.
Crimey crafters. I think so too.
Crafty
Maybe we'll
crime.
start
Crimey
learning about.
crafters.
Both sounds good. I feel like we use them interchangeably.
And Sheila's been begging for her supper, and now she wants to go outside. So
She
that's,
doesn't want to go outside.
That's
She's
how
trying
we
to get
sign
attention.
off for the week. Have a great week, everybody.
Peace.
Stay cool out there. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.